I watched a YouTube video where the guy was saying you should charge people. You should never work for free. And he was talking about you should never work for free. You should always charge anyone that you're targeting online. Like if you have a target avatar, whenever they ask you what your price is, never work for free. You should say, I work for this amount. And if they are not willing to give it to you, just talk to more people. Because you will always eventually find someone who has a strong pain point and you can come in there and help them. And I was like, this is very different than what I teach. So when I saw this professional who's making millions of dollars, and I'm not making millions of dollars, I'm like, oh, is his certainty greater than my doubt? Is he the one that's correct or am I correct? I needed to have a reason for my belief system of the free work. And so I started writing down, should someone work for free or charge a lot in the early stages of business? And I wrote that question down, and then I wrote down the pros and cons of each choice. Because he said that you should not work for free because you need to break the limiting belief of that getting to 10K is hard. Because most people are like, man, my brain doesn't, I have a limiting belief. It's so hard to make 10K, but you need to believe that it's easy to make 10K if you're ever going to consistently be above it, right? So it's a limiting belief situation. So I wrote down, if you charge a lot, this is what's going to happen. One, you have to talk to a lot of people. So that is the con, because you're not going to find people that are willing to pay you a lot because you sound like you don't know what you're doing. Because in the beginning, you don't, right? Number two, you have to fake it till you make it. Meaning you're going to be yapping as if you know what you're doing. And hopefully the person doesn't know or knows less than you. So they just hire you and are willing to pay you anyway. And that one is hard to be ethical, because you have to overpromise, because you're very likely to underdeliver. You're actually scamming in the beginning of your journey. Now, you might be very ethical and moral, but and you somehow manage to deliver what you said you were going to deliver, but the chances of that is very low, because you don't know what you're doing. And if you're charging $1,000, $2,000 a month for a service, it's like, is it scammy? Maybe it is scammy. Not like, because you could manage to pull through, but that means that you have to do more than what you thought you were capable of. But there are some pros, and that is that the employer is more committed to working with you because they've paid, and you're crushing limiting beliefs in terms of making money online. But there's another con, and that is that it's a high turnover, meaning you lose a lot of clients once you're found out. Like once they find that, oh, he wasn't as good as he promised, okay, well, we lost some money on that. We'll move on to the next one and try and find another dude. This is charging a lot in the beginning of your journey. And the reason why I'm bringing up this entire story is because he is that guy. He doesn't have a lot of clients. He's 17 years old. He's going to school, which means that he hasn't succeeded on online yet. And he hasn't had a lot of clients. And he showed willingness to do anything at the end of the call. But in the beginning, he said, I charge this much. So he is taking the advice from YouTubers and influencers saying that you need to charge a lot and don't ever work for free. And you broke him. You actually managed to bring him down to reality and say, hey, if you want clients long-term, we have a community that's expanding. If you do a fantastic job, then there's potential on the back end. And you said all those things that I've told you to tell people that, so that they understand the potential. And so I personally, after I did my evaluation, should one work for free or not work for free? I personally still believe that working for free is the ultimate way, because you have to speak to less people. You have to scrutinize who is the best employer out of everyone you're talking to. And you have to talk to a lot of people, so you have multiple employers possible, and then pick the best out of all of them that's more likely to pay you the fastest as a result of you doing a fantastic job. And then you just have to massively do a great job. It's kind of like what you've done, right? And as a result, boom, like your income goes up, and the potential of making even more money is endless, right? Because of making yourself indispensable. So I personally believe my system is the best when it comes to this. I completely am against the scammy type of situation, and we're doing it the right way. And I think this guy has just listened to those guys and is inexperienced. And so we can give him experience. So he might actually come down to earth once he sees what's happening. And we also get to see how good he actually is. You're very strong. I'm teaching you negotiation. I mean, sometimes you lose a good thing during the hard and tough negotiations. But if you are a tough negotiator, you end up getting better deals long term. Awesome. The key is to care about the person. the key, that's the deal, right? Maybe this is not the right timing. Like, I really want to onboard you. I really want to work with you, but I just can't see the win-win happening as a result of, you have a very high standard of what you want. And from our timing perspective, this is just maybe not the right timing. If you change your mind though, like, we'd love to work with you. If you do it from a people skills perspective, we're not burning a bridge. We're making it so that whenever they're having a hard time in the future, and we might be having a great time, they might actually come begging to us in the future and say, hey, I've lowered my standard. I'm willing to work with you now because we did it in a people skills way.